It's okay to be smoking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask what you're up to today?
I just get off working, so I'm going home.
What's your job?
I'm a bartender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, where are you from?
I'm from Madrid, from Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so how long have you lived in London?
I've been living here since February, and right now it's September.
What's your favourite thing about the city?
I think there is a lot of people, so much diversity, and that you can be yourself. You can just be here. Because where I'm from in Madrid, you have different parts where you can just be, but not the whole city. You know, you don't feel quite comfortable in many areas.
Romántico.
Basically, I'm vegan and I dedicate as much of my time as possible to letting others know about the horrors of the industries that support animal agriculture and fashion and things like that. Basically, anything that exploits and harms animals, I'm there to try and expose the truth.
Have you always had a passion for that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, since a very young age. Yeah.
So, what do you think is behind humans' tendency, sort of need to kill animals?
It's conditioning, essentially. It's normalised. So it's come to a point where people don't even see animals as living, breathing beings. They're seen as objects for consumption and use. And so we're there to show people in however many different ways that there are that is not the truth, that animals are living beings with feelings, emotions, fears, the same as you or I.
Oh dear, you don't want to photograph me or break our camera.
Can I ask what you're up to today?
I'm going to the opera.
Okay, what are you going to see?
We're going to see Zauberflöte.
Oh, okay. And so, can I ask, are you from London?
No, I live in the country.
Oh, okay. And have you always lived there?
No, I've lived all over the world.
Oh, really?
And I've come to retire back home.
So when you were working, what were you doing?
I was an occupational therapist working for the government and for the Foreign Office and all sorts of things.
So were you helping rehabilitate government people? Or
Some, but also setting up electronic equipment in Australia where they hadn't got it to help handicapped people, and then being a professor in the Philippines. What else? Oh, looking at various different places.
Yeah. Okay. And can I ask what in life brings you the most happiness?
Well, I think my husband when he was alive, but I love music. I spend a lot of time in the countryside with all the animals and birds and everything. Very simple.
Yeah. And on the reverse side, what brings you unhappiness?
I think being alone sometimes, because my husband died, and that's always difficult, being on your own.
Do you mind if I ask what he did?
He was an engineer,
Oh, okay.
and he designed the salmon leap in Pitlochry. It's one of his accomplishments.
What is that, sorry?
It's where the salmon, the fish come in and they leap because they spawn up in the hills, and so they have a difficult job in getting up these various sorts of levels. And also with all the tourists coming, they were building roads and crossing streams and things like that. So they built the salmon leap so they could get there more easily.
So it's like a backwards slide for the salmon?
Yes, that's right.
I myself have a clothing label called Me Vida Vegan, which is an activist clothing label where we use our bodies as a billboard. So you can walk around all day and you have information or you have slogans that educate people or shock people or make people aware of what's going on.
Are you wearing this? So what does it say on the back?
If you wear real fur, I hope you die screaming too.
Okay. And is this bag part of?
This is just a happy bunny. And then that one's obviously Lush, fighting animal testing. I back Lush all the way. Absolute pioneers in what they do. And they fund so much good work that they don't shout about. They fund a lot across the board. Human rights and animal rights. Lush are an amazing company. I can't big them up enough, really.
What do you think is the most sort of the best way for people to see a different view on meat consumption and animal?
Watching the videos of the way that animals are treated in slaughterhouses. And it's very easy for people to say, oh yeah, but this is the UK, this doesn't happen in the UK, this only happens abroad. Absolutely not. The horrors that are exposed through undercover operatives, gaining footage and like hard documentation of the fact that this is real, this goes on, happens across the world, the UK included. And I know for a fact that I would never wish that even on my worst enemy. So why do we do that to innocent beings?
What makes me happy? Thinking that I'm doing the correct things, that I'm on the right way to know who I am, not getting lost with all the things that I can find in this city, you know? Because too many people came here, but I think they forget what they came for, you know? Because London has too many things to offer you that maybe you get a little bit blind with that and you forget what you came here. But
so what did you come here for? What were you looking for?
To be an actor.
Oh, an actor? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. What do you think is your kind of preferred area and role?
Well, I tried different things like comedy, drama, but I find myself like in characters that are really different from me, but I have something in common with them. Like if they want to be another person, like maybe right now I'm focusing really much in transgender people because when they look at the mirror, they find that they are not who truly they are. So it's that type of characters, people who want to be in other ones because they don't find themselves in where they are living. So it's a how do you say?
Search.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems that finding your identity is a big part of you and everything that you do. Do you see yourself sort of reaching a point where you found your identity, or do you think it's a journey that will
I
continue
think I'm finding it. But I need a lot of patience. I need a lot of hard work. I need to get off of my head a lot of times, you know. Thinking too much, it's not good.
Is there one regret?
One regret. I suppose not pursuing a career in something that I was really passionate about. That's a real interest rather than something to do as a career.
Do you know what that would be?
Well, it might have been a sports journalist or I don't know, something like that.
What kind of put you off pursuing that goal?
Youthful expectations, I suppose, and parental expectations. That isn't the sort of thing that I would do, because it wouldn't be a reliable enough career.
If you could go back to let's say your 15-year-old self,
Yeah.
and put your hand on his shoulder and give him a piece of advice, what would it be?
Be a bit more daring. Take a few more risks, I think. Yeah.
Most of the meat, the beef that we eat are from spent dairy cows. So when they've been used to the point that they can't even walk anymore and they're just useless to the industry, that's when they get sent off for meat. When they can no longer produce milk, that's when they get turned into a burger. So being vegetarian, you are still funding the meat industry.
Do you have any pets?
I don't have a pet. I have a companion animal. I have a little bunny that I rescued, and I've had him. He's been my lovely companion for 6 years now. Chews through my shoes, my handbags. He is an expert at chewing through shoes. I think, in a perfect world, we can rescue, rehome every single animal that there is, give them a wonderful life, and just not breed anymore, and then just let the animals be, just leave them to do their own thing.
What brings you the most unhappiness in life?
I'm unhappy every day when I see people walking around with coats made out of 45 skinned animals. I'm unhappy at the human population not waking up and realising that how much we're controlled, and that if we got together and fought, we could change so much.
So controlled by government, controlled by culture, society.
Mainstream cultural brainwashing, conditioning. It's like the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie? Yeah, that's basically that in a tin, isn't it?
If you could see yourself in 10 years' time, where would you like to be?
You have the answer. There are no words for me to describe it right now, because I know where I want to be, but it's hard for me to say it, because maybe to speaking out loud that thing that you have been thinking, it made it kind of you think that maybe it's impossible. No, it's because it's so emotional. It's some kind of hard thing to say to a stranger and for the camera, but I see myself working with people that made me feel better and made me want to be a better person and to do a better job and to learn from them. I see myself there.
Are you happy at the moment?
Yeah, I am, but I'm still really struggling with a lot of things. But I'm happy.
And if you could go back to your, let's say your 18-year-old self.
Oh, crikey! She was nuts.
And put your hand on her shoulder. What would you say?
Drugs are bad.
You learned that the one hard way.
Drugs are bad, children. Do not take drugs.
Never forget what you want to be. If you forget, you are done. I think so. I've seen so many people here in London, and they came 9 years ago, and they are like, "What did you came for?" And he said well, I don't remember right now what I came for.
But our goals change, don't they? They evolve.
Yeah, I know, but I saw them in the kind of situations that in clubs, seeing people taking drugs and just leaving to go in partying and spending more time doing that in taking care of who you are and who you want to be, and because we only have this life.
Last thing, would you mind explaining through some of your tattoos and jewellery? They have some significance.
My tattoos are basically happy, fun Neverlands, where there are no baddies, just rainbows and bunnies. Everyone's happy, and I think that's
Pride of place, no fur.
Fuck fur. If you wear real fur, I hope you die screaming too.
When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers. The quiet of the railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places home.